that means that you will look at something and then you just say, no, that's not possible. I can't do that. And we're showing you the examples of what is possible. And we're hoping that more of you decide to take that on and love who you are, because see, you are the ones who are creating your planet. You are the ones who are allowing the chaos to continue unless...
Welcome. Embrace clarity and insight. Right? This is what we're discussing today. And at the end, you may want to join Life Made Simple. It's a new daily texting service that we will offer. And yeah, before we're going to talk this at the end of the session, let's enjoy the present moment and embrace some clarity right here, right now. I see that 15 people already joined, right? Let's type into the chat box from where you're joining in from. I already see Suzanne. Good to see you. Adelaide, South Australia. Randy, good to see you too. I think you're in California. Yeah. Illinois, USA, San Diego, beautiful. Gold Coast, Australia, there we go. Awesome. All around the world. Portugal, USA, Oregon, Newport News. Great. So welcome, right? Welcome, Greg. Welcome, William. Good to see you all here. It's a pleasure. And this now one will reveal a lot. And I'm going to read this message of today first, and then we're going to take some breaths all together. You have always been guided. You will understand that so much more today, and alignment is occurring in your lives and world, and you will accept more today. The message we provided in 2012 was not accidental, as neither are you. Neither is our life call with you today. You are needed in the world today. When you are more to become comfortable with peace, you will have less desire for chaos. While it may seem odd to you that on any level you have a desire for chaos, remember that most times during your physical life experience, you will desire that to which you have become accustomed. When you become accustomed to any condition, you do not notice it and begin to think it is normal. Your active part in creating your personal reality becomes deciding which experience you want to become accustomed to. You always have the ability to choose between chaos and peace when you allow that choice into your awareness. Wilhelm. Let's close your eyes. Focus on your heart. Breathe in through your nose. Be grateful that you're here, deciding to make a difference, deciding to gain even more clarity than before, to embrace that clarity with all your heart. So breathe in into your heart, breathe in clarity, and exhale the embracement of clarity. Yeah. Inhale deeply into your heart and exhale it out. Now focus on the end of your spine, the bottom of your spine, and breathe in clarity down there into the root, grounding that clarity into existence. Exhale and become relaxed. Yeah, and tap your hands now on your chest. Tap a few fingers and tap on your chest while you think about embracing clarity and setting the intention to be clear-minded in this entire session that we're just going to start now. I'm sending you all love, peace, and harmony. Let's create the world that we all desire for the children of this planet, you and me, also children of this planet. Let's go.
Thank you so much, and we're ready to begin. And as we say all the time, we have waited for you your entire lives. Today you will understand it, and it will not matter when you happen to hear this, because the information that we give you is universal and it's timeless, and you will understand that. You've asked us many questions about time. This is why we've been posting messages where we can give you ideas that have existed over decades, because we wanted you to understand how you evolve in your consciousness, because you use your human mind to understand who you are. You each come to the world at a particular time with a great mission that you're meant to live, and that mission is about loving who you are. Now, we know that many of you are struggling and going through different things in your lives, and you think, oh, this is terrible. We're saying, no, you agreed to be here now because this is the biggest change that your planet has ever seen, and you happen to be here. You decided to be alive. You're looking at things going on in your world, and you think, oh, things are falling apart, and we're saying, no, it's the greatest opportunity that you've ever had in your life, because now you get to move through all of your old stuff. You get to get unstuck. You see, when we gave you the message about chaos, you wonder, why would they want chaos? Why would we want chaos? Because you don't move. You don't move into that next big, and you get a little afraid. But we've given you a guide. And so we're going to explain so much more today, because it's challenging for each of you to understand that we could have received information decades ago and given it to our being and put it into a philosophy that could cause you all to heal and cause your world to become better. But we will say that we have done that, and we're proving it now, because so many are coming through and loving themselves and understanding their life purpose and starting to get on with what they meant to do. Now, we've told you before, everything that we have given you is everything that you could possibly need. Now, let's go back. We will say this. We're not saying anything new here today. We just want you to understand, and you will get this. If you were to go back and listen to any of our recordings over the last several years, you will understand that we have told you where you would be now, because we knew that. We knew where you were going, because it's a matter of understanding energy and how your planets and the galaxies and everything moves. And today, you have this great new moon, which means that it's a perfect time for you to set the intention for the life you want to have. You are the ones who are creating it. You are the ones who are creating your world. The things that you see happening out in the world that you think are chaotic are a result of something that has been within you that you haven't let go of. You are all one. You are all the same, but you keep trying to figure out that, and this is the process that you're in now. Many people have called this time in your world something like a big shift or the great split and all of that, and we've called it a restructuring, because we want you to understand you're changing things. You are the people who are changing it, and the way that you change it is by changing yourself, and the way you change yourself is by loving who you are and understanding your importance and the life journey that you have had. We put out several messages on this day. We went a little bit overboard today because we wanted you to understand. And one we put out, and we said that who you are is the most important thing that's coming to the earth right now. And tomorrow we said, please stop denying who you are, because it's an energetic shift that your world is moving through. And the way that shift happens is when more of you decide that you're going to let go of what was old. You're going to let go of your self-judgment. You're going to let go of your judgment of others. You're going to stop thinking you did anything wrong, because you didn't. You're on an evolutionary path that is giving you opportunities to evolve. You come into physical form as a human when you decide to come onto the planet, and you have a role that you were meant to achieve. And we gave you a message today. You'll see it on social media. We just put it up there. We said, please do your job. Your job is something that is unique to you, and it is valuable. And the thing that we want each of you to let go of is this thinking, this belief that you're insignificant, that you don't matter. You matter in great ways, especially at this time. And this particular period of movement in your world is going to go on for another year or so, a little bit more. But we wanted you to understand. And as we said when we first began, we wanted to kind of quell some of your fear and doubt. And we've been at it a long time. We're going to give you something else now because we want you to understand. This almost didn't happen, we want you to know, because Roger received a bit of what felt to him like judgment because we put one of these recordings into AI to have it analyzed. And they said, well, Roger talks so much about himself. That was purposeful, because we wanted you to understand what is accomplished. If you don't understand what he's moved through to bring through this work, then it doesn't mean anything to any of you. And what you each are meant to do is to bring in something new that could cause your world to become better, and it's within you. And as you do that, you leave your legacy. We put that up there today as well. And all of these were given on February 9th in different years, because what we have done, we've given you a dictionary, an encyclopedia of personal development, spiritual growth, ascension tools, whatever you want to call it. We've given you all of it. And the way that we know that it works is because you're looking at a being who's 73 years old and has healed everything. Now, we're not saying that all of you are going to do that, because you have different paths that you're going to follow. However, you do have the tools if you choose to use them. Now, we can say this all the time because we see people run when we say some of these things. No, I can't do it. That doesn't make sense. I can't be anything different. And this because most of you, all of you, have cognitive dissonance. That means that you will look at something and then you just say, no, that's not possible. I can't do that. And we're showing you the examples of what is possible. And we're hoping that more of you decide to take that on and love who you are, because, see, you are the ones who are creating your planet. You are the ones who are allowing the chaos to continue unless you decide to choose peace. And you choose peace when you choose yourself, when you choose to love who you are, understand your life journey. Everything we have given you is about understanding your unique journey, because there's not a single soul on the earth who is more important than another. But you've, over centuries, over eons, you have denigrated one another so that you don't appreciate your worth and your value. And then you spread that to the collective, you see. That's what's gone on. And then you start fighting with one another. Let me be better than you. Let me be better than the other one. And this is why we've always said there's no hierarchy of souls. But that's something that is really challenging for many of you to understand, because you've been seeing these beings out there being what you thought you could never achieve. And we're saying that's not possible. You all come in with the same abilities. You just have different life paths. But that is the thing that is challenging. You don't know how valuable yours is, you see. Because if you've gone through something that was challenging or difficult, great. Because you accepted that now you've achieved something and you give it back to others, and your world keeps evolving. We wanted you to understand this from a logical standpoint. And we always break things down. That's why we love the title of Life Made Simple. We're going to break all of this down for you so it's digestible, so that you understand the process of self-actualization, ascension, and personal development, because that's all you're doing. We never use a term about improvement. None of you need to be improved. You are perfect, and we keep saying that all the time. You just come to discover that as you take the steps of self-discovery. And we will say this, as you do that, you'll be surprised. Our being was completely shocked. This is why we've taken him through so much in the last several days, because he didn't know what he had. None of you do. And this is why we wanted to pull the threads together so that you can see what you can accomplish. And this is the most important time. This particular new moon, we want you to understand it's never happened. It's the biggest change that your world has moved through, and our being is so connected to it because of his energies. We keep talking about certain aspects. Not all of you will use these, but we will talk about his astrological aspects because it's the being that he is. Some of you use different things, but we want you to understand no matter what you use, each of you are that important. You just use different ways of coming to understand that. And when you let go of the judgment that you might have about how you're doing that, then you start to discover who you are and you come to love yourself. And that's what we've given you all of this time. Now, we will take you back a little bit more. Each of you have a path that you figure out at a certain point. And it is something when you find the things that you don't even know that you're doing at times, but when you find them, they give your life meaning and value that you then live out. And we're going to give you something else. There are certain periods throughout your civilization that there are energetic changes that happen that affect your society and affect all of you. You may not be aware of those, but we've used dates to point it out. When we started in 1987, we weren't speaking through Roger at that time, but we gave him information. He wasn't willing to bring it forth then, but we gave him 4 songs over a period of time. But in 1987, you had the harmonic convergence. It was a greater awakening of consciousness. So we had him write 3 songs during that time. He had no clue as to why he was doing it. The first one was called Better Than Me, meaning that none of you are better than another. And this is what you come to understand, that you live your life. And when you don't do that, you keep having wars and you keep trying to kill each other because you think those people shouldn't be around. How do you expect to have the world you want to have? And then we gave you another one. We said, listen to your heart. And see, that's the intuition that is within each of you. That's the guidance. As we said, we put something out early. We said, you have always been guided, but you don't understand that initially. But you will get there eventually. So this is what we wanted you to understand. And then we gave you another one. It's called Help the World to Mend. That was the other one. And you can find all of these because they're published. You can listen to them because we're saying to you, you come to the world to help it evolve. And you do that when you understand your importance, your life path, and you start to live it and love yourself. That's the whole ball game we want to tell you. And so the work that we have given you gives you the ability to discover your life path, your unique purpose, so that you can start to live it. That's all. It took him 73 years to get here before he would actually give you all of this. But that was purposeful as well, because when you create something new, it's challenging to give it to others to know if it's going to work, even if it's worked on you. And you will find this from any inventor, creator, that has done that. And so this is what has gone on. But now it's been proven, you see. But now it's also a different time in your world. More of you need to step up. And when we say step up, that means you need to become more loving of yourself. You need to become more abundant, all of those things, because it's energy. When you understand that everything is created energetically, and the way that you operate, your thoughts, your feelings, every single moment is emitting a kind of energy into the atmosphere of your planet. And so if you keep going around hating one another, or more importantly, hating yourself, how can you hope to live the life that you want to have and to have joy? We're taking you to joy, happiness, and peace. And peace is when you finally come to understand yourself. Now, we've given him so much information. What we would like to do, because most of it's going to come through in the questions. So we would like for you to start with your questions now so that we have enough time, because we don't want to keep you here forever, but we have so much to give you, and we will bring it through when we go through the questions.
Okay, stand by. I am pressing buttons right now. The Q&A portion is now live. So please click on the Q&A button, put in your questions, and I will ask your question on your behalf. All questions are welcomed, and you can ask as many questions as you'd like. Everything is going to be revealed through the questions that you have.
We're going to give you a little bit before you start now. Just understand, this particular period, you're in the age of Aquarius, and this is the thing that you've all waited for. You thought it was some other time, as we've said, but it's happening now. And you just moved into that, and Pluto just moved as well. That's been affecting all of you, and that's been affecting the United States primarily, but it affects the entire world. And so when you didn't understand what we were saying about the United States would lead the way on this restructuring, you're seeing it now, and you're going to see it throughout this year. And we don't want you to become afraid, because what you're doing is you're uncovering all the stuff that didn't work within yourselves and within your governments. And again, if you think you're not part of your government, you're missing the point. You are. Your energetic and contribution forms your governments, because you allow things to happen. No one's doing it to you, but it comes through you deciding just to love yourself. You don't have to go out there and do something huge. You just have to own who you are. Okay.
First question. Questions are coming in fast and furious here. Thank you very much for today. I would like to know if it's possible for me to remember my past lives and how I could do that.
Just start to listen. You may not remember them, and don't listen. This is the thing. Some of you think that remembering your past life will give you some sort of, foundation in this life. Not necessarily. Roger doesn't remember his past lives. He's been told about it. He went through other things and he started to accept. But if it's right for you, it'll start to emerge. But we love the fact that you're asking the question. You see, because asking the question will get your higher self to reveal to you whatever would be appropriate for you to know in this incarnation. The thing that we want you all to understand, you're eternal spirit, you're eternal beings. Now, that's a concept that's challenging, but in this incarnation, you came in to offer something new. And so if a past life is going to give you an awareness, it will be revealed to you. Just be patient. Thank you.
Hello, dear Wilhelm and Roger. I have created a program to help women to architect their evolved self and their very individual blueprint of success, and it was planned to be launched at 10:02. Some challenges came in between. Is this the program and the women community I'm supposed to launch, or should the focus be more on supporting conscious politics? There is no either, but both. So what is the path of least resistance for me now?
You're so brilliant. I just love it. This is so great. This is so great. No, they're together. You see, women, the feminine energy, it's not just about your sexes, it's about the energy. And the feminine energy at this time is the most powerful thing, and it's going to change your governments as well. So you don't have to separate them, but you're going to have to find out your unique way of putting this together. But we will say that you have been interested, and it's brought up within you something about the government that you want to see better, and on a deep level, energetic level, that women will help that, and you will see that this year, by the way. That is what's going to come up. Women are going to they're playing an integral part in this transformation of your world, and so you are a leader, and you've been given that, but we do feel your hesitancy because of the little difficulty getting it started. Do you know when we started this? 2016. So don't worry. We felt that you're thinking, should I do this? Yes, you should. You just have to put together what is organic to you. And we do know that it's about making a difference in political arena, but also using women to do so. There could be nothing better that you could do at this time in your world. Thank you so much.
How can I get my health back?
By understanding that you already have it. Okay, we've given you a message, and we talked about your physical body. And many of you are moving through physical changes during this time, especially today, probably. You even had a little earthquake in parts of your world, and especially in California, where our being is. However, you're going to feel things in your body during this time. But if you've had chronic things that have been going on for a while, that's part of your evolutionary path. And you chose them because you wanted to overcome them. But the way that you overcome them is not focusing on the condition, focusing on why you're not loving yourself. That's really what it is. Because, see, it's always a denial of the self that causes physical maladies and conditions to come up. But you may have taken them on for reasons that you do not understand at this time. You all come in with past, let's say. You have things that you've brought in from other lives, other places. It's all consciousness again. So when you just understand that you were given something that you wanted to move through in this incarnation, and the way that you do it is not worrying and thinking about those things, but thinking about, why am I having this? Is there something about me that I'm not loving? What am I denying? What am I running from? Those questions will, and we have a litany of them because our being has gone through all of them, and he knows now that, and he's had many more illnesses and diseases and things than most of you, so he does understand the challenge in getting there, which is why he doesn't talk about it quite as much as we're going to have him do more of that because many of you will need it. However, for you, what we're feeling is you've been in this place for a really long time, and so just take the steps every day of doing something that's self-care. That's because you've been ignored. You've been giving yourself away to everyone else too. That's another part of what we're feeling. So start loving who you are and make that your most important goal every day. And give yourself time to consciously do that. I mean, literally, sometimes set a time for you to consciously think, I'm just going to be with me now And these physical things will start to leave, and start doing a lot of visualizations as well. We feel that would be really incredibly helpful for you. Thank you.
I believe I'm loving myself, but looking at my life, it must not be fully.
Mhm.
What is loving yourself?
Means taking the next step in who you're meant to become. And when you, and all of you will have this, please, we want no judgment. Our being will look at everything and he judges himself, and he has all this regret because he looks at everything that we've given him and he goes, why did I do it? Many of you will do that. Please, when you're looking at your life and it's not in the order, that just means that there are more steps for you to take, and you haven't fulfilled your particular part of your potential. None of you fulfill your potential, by the way. We just want you to know that as long as you're alive, you're never going to fulfill your potential, because there's always more, no matter how old you might become. Okay, that's always there. But what's going on for you is moving to the next level of what you want to do, because we feel it's there, but you don't believe you could do it. You have it, or you have some judgment from others. That's what it is. That's why your life is not looking the way that it is. And so what we're always guiding you to is to find that unique path that you're meant to live, because you each have it. And so when you do that, you'll see so many things start to change. And so, but be patient, because it feels as if you have been in this kind of aimless space for a while, but you've been awakened to something now, because otherwise you couldn't have asked the question. And do not regret or doubt yourself. This is the thing we want you to understand. We just want you to find the thing that you love. And some of you will find this. You might have to go back many years to your youth to remember it, but just start doing and finding that thing that you love, and that's going to start to shift everything. But please stop blaming yourself. We feel that too, and you have a little shame and embarrassment. Those are great qualities, by the way. We know that doesn't make sense, but when you're experiencing shame and embarrassment, that means that you're being awakened to some part of yourself that you've been denying, and your life will start to turn around. Thank you.
I'm flying to Egypt next week. I have been guided to go there. Do you know why?
Because there's a part of you, we've told you that our being had memories from Egypt. And all of you do have memories from other places, but you are being guided there because your higher self says that this will awaken something in you, and there's some history that will give you a little more courage in the way that you're moving in your life now, because you're doing some career that you are feeling, I'm supposed to be doing this, but I need a little more enforcement. And that's why you're going. And other than the trip, because you're going to love it, you're going to want to see all of these things, and it's going to be great for you. But there's a part of you that needed a little more enforcement of what you're doing in your life now. And this will help. And we love the fact that you questioned it. We love, why am I going? Many of you will do that. And that means that you're not trusting your guidance. You're not trusting the intuition that told you this would be a good thing. And we want all of you to start, as we've said in many messages, to start trusting that information, that intuition that is coming through, so just go. You're going to have a great time. Thank you.
Just letting you all know that the Q&A is now closed. We have all the questions that are going to carry us to the end of the session. I blinked, and my goodness, you all are very quick on asking your questions. If you did not get a chance to ask your question, please bring it to the next channeling session, but all the questions in the queue will be answered. There are so many people in the world right now who seem steeped in duality, revenge, often disguised as justice, etc. Mm-hmm. What is the best way to introduce them to the idea that all is love source, even those people and things they find abhorrent?
By being the example. You can't change them. This is the other thing we wanted to tell you. You're going to find those people all around, and we've told you this before. And in all of our messages, all of our live conversations, you said you're going to find the others. They're going to be people who are on a different path, who are not going to understand anything that you're talking about. And so what you have to do is become the example. You're going to be the change that you want to see. And please, so many of you are going to try to fight with these people, and this is why we're telling you that you all have cognitive dissonance. We had our being create a video 2 years ago, and we had them call it, "We Were All Brainwashed." You all were. And it's still going on now because, see, you're brainwashed when you don't believe in your worth and value. And then others become brainwashed because others have told them something for so long. But that's a generational thing. And that's what you're experiencing now. All of the old ideologies, beliefs, judgment, prejudices, hatred, all of those things are coming up right now. They're coming up during this period, which is why it looks so chaotic. This is why you're having wars. People are unwilling to let go of their grievances. And so you can't fight them. What you have to do is love them, but you do that by loving yourself first. And this is the work that we're bringing you to. And we're so pleased because with our group last night, we just felt the love of all of them coming together and surpassing all of these other things. And that's the work that we're going to keep doing because this is what you're going to want during this particular period of transition in your world. But we're so happy that you are sensitive to them and you want to help them. And that's why it pains you to see them not understanding. But please know that they will do it on their time. They have their own timelines. And the reason that we keep saying you have to choose, because you each do that. Not everyone will. But when you see the ones who are acting out in different ways that you think are abhorrent and terrible, it causes you to awaken to who you are. And so we know this is a strange concept, but we've also told you once you come to that awareness, you can thank them for showing up because they've caused you to know who you are and love yourself more. Thank you.
What are the steps that I need to take to become one of the key persons of influence that is needed for the world now?
You just did it. You just declared it. You just said it. And see, the problem is most of you will say those things and then you say, oh, no, I can't do it. And then you cut off the information that your higher self is going to give you, that how you could do that. When we tell our being, we said, you can change the world. He knows that can happen. He wouldn't say it before, but now he knows it. And so he continue doubting it. Now, it's not realistic to think he's going to see while he's still alive, but he does know that the information that we have given him, that he's going to leave on this earth, will change your world because it's already happened. There's so many people who have done this work who are now understanding who they are. They've moved through hatred and all of that sort of stuff. And that becomes progressive, you see. That becomes cumulative. And then you all have it. And that's why we brought in this work. We called this, we said, we gave you your life operating instructions because all of your other philosophies weren't working really well. Because if they were, you wouldn't have wars that you're having now. We wanted you to get to the place where you love yourself and you love others and you move beyond all the old stuff. You're moving into a new paradigm. So, yeah, it's going to be so great. Thank you so much.
I feel blocked in my body. How can I free this up? I'm thinking of energy, chakras, etc. Thank you.
It could be all of those. And so you need to get some other help. We've given you something else in one of our messages. We said asking for help. Asking for help. Many of you don't do this because you're going to be moving through things that you don't really understand. You'll feel them in your body and all of that. And so you need some other outside guidance at times, and that is self-care. And so it feels like maybe you haven't given yourself enough of that, but it also is saying that you're being moved, you're being nudged to awaken to something. But in that process, then do the things that are more palliative, that can help you to feel better within your body, and things will start to move away. Now, we've introduced our being to many things that helped his mind-body connection, and we've talked about that because you understand that a lot of your body ailments are things that you've also brought with you. You inherited them, and so you have these beliefs. You can heal anything in your body, but again, in your physical body, when you start to understand your spiritual self and own more of that. But it's a process that you will each move through. But for you, what we would love for you to just get some more help, get some guidance, and if it's Reiki, if it's massage, if it's whatever it might be, get something that says you matter and you're giving care to yourself. Thank you.
Dear Wilhelm, can you assist me with understanding what role music plays in my life? Why am I so interested in teaching myself to play musical instruments? Much love.
because your higher self said this is going to be your connected to your connection to your spiritual self. You're going to start to understand more of who you are. Music is the connection to source. It's connected to all of it. This is why so many of you resonate with that, and you feel something when certain music comes about. And that's why. And so just do it. That's so great. And we love the fact that you questioned it, though. See, because you're hearing guidance very clearly. You have intuition that's telling you this would be a good way to go. It may not make logical sense, and we need more of you to let go of your human logical thinking, because that will not serve you during this time as you are expanding to greater beings. So yes, please go do the music. That's going to be great. Thank you.
Hi, Wilhelm. I'm getting called to the pyramids of Giza. Are we going to find out about the emerald tablets that are hidden?
If that's something that you're interested in, if you will. Listen, there are so many things, and we've talked about this before. We've talked about the pyramids because you haven't figured out how you did that, but there are many studies that are coming out with ideas about that. But there's different civilizations that have existed that had different abilities that none of you understand. And that's why it's challenging for you to understand what you could possibly do now. Or are there aliens? Are the people on other planets? All those things are true. It's just about what you came to understand in your incarnation. So if understanding how those things came about fulfills some part of your life purpose, then go and do that. But no one knows, you see. They're still, it's all speculative. Consciousness is never complete. You're always creating it, no matter when you might live in the physical world. And so you're in a continuation of that, and you each are given things and ideas and inclinations that bring more awareness. There's so many discoveries that are coming about now that you didn't know even existed before, but you're being called for some reason to understand that a lot more. So we would love for you to do that. And you might start with finding some really great documentaries to start understanding all of that, because you're being guided to bring in a greater awareness, and you might be the one that will explain all of that to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your guidance. Recently, I have felt a clear call to say yes to a dream that requires me to be bigger than I ever have been. When I orient towards this, I can feel an opening that seems to carry me past old edges and barriers that put me right in the realm of immersion and creative possibility. However, I also have multiple times during the day or week when I feel closed down or like it's impossible. Is this to be expected? Will there always be stops and starts on this path?
Not anymore, because we're going to give you permission to own the dream. You will all do this. You have dreams and you put them away. We've given you much information about that. You see, we gave our being a dream in 2005. And he wasn't going to do it. He said, no, it's impossible. I can't do that. It's not going to be me. Because we told him, he said, you're going to bring in this work and you're going to be this spiritual leader. And he said, no. And he put it in the closet and he says, it's not possible. You have been given a dream and you're going to fulfill it. And so now we've given you permission to believe it. Because see, many of you think that the dreams are accidental. They're only accidental if you think that they are. But we feel this so strongly with you. You've been awakened to this dream that you're supposed to fulfill and live. And it's just the belief. The biggest obstacle for all of you is self-doubt. Fear and self-doubt. Those are the things that hold humans back the most. And so now we want you to hold on to that dream and just start to do it. Doesn't matter how it turns out, what it is, it's just do it. So thank you.
Regarding our desires, how do we know when to take action versus allowing things to happen for us?
Both are happening simultaneously. When you take action, you're allowing it to happen. You see, but most of you just don't take any action at all. And that's why things don't move. So, but you will, there's a difference between taking action and forcing. And we feel that's what you're asking, because it feels like you wanted to do something where you just got to push forward and do this. We want you to become aligned, because when you become aligned, you're taking inspired action because you have an intention that you're very clear of and you know what it is and you're going to act on that. And so, this is great, because you've been hanging out this idea for a while and you've been wondering, should I take action? Yes. That's what we want to say. And it doesn't matter. Just Just take the small one, the thing that's right in front of you. We've given you many messages that say, just take the next step. And that's the allowing that will happen. You take the first step, and that's the action that will put things into motion. Thank you.
What's your advice on how to discover who I am?
Keep going. We're going to give you this because this is the problem that many of you have, is that who you discover you are is something that's different and unique. And so because of that, it's hard for you to hold on to it. So then you keep searching to think there's something that you're trying. It's just a process. Ascension is a process that you're continually uncovering your divine plan on this earth, your blueprint. All of you are doing that. And so it will just come about as you keep asking the questions, you see. And so when we first started giving Roger this information, he wanted to ask questions. He was controlling everything. And we said, no, don't do that. Just let the information come. So for you, there's something that is coming to you that you're starting to understand, and you just have to go into the place of accepting it. But we want to say something else. We want you to write. We want you to write what's coming to you and start to define it a little more. There's something there that you're attempting to bring in. So writing will be so incredibly powerful because, see, then you're going to activate more of your thinking, your qualities that are going to start to come through. So start writing it because you're onto something. We just want to say that you are onto something and just keep going. Thank you.
Why do we humans only think of showing the ETs and anything to do with the other side beyond the veil as being evil or scary?
Because that's what you were taught. Consciousness evolves over time. Okay, let's talk about the evolution of the world. You each come into the world at a particular time, and you have a consciousness. That consciousness gets developed. Now, sometimes, because you don't understand what's going on, you will create things to kind of give you some clarity. This is why we talked about conspiracy theory so much. And so then you create a conspiracy theory, and then it feels scary. And then you want to look at anything else. You can't talk about ETs and all of that, even though now, when we've told you 2 years or 3 years ago, we told you your scientists would start seeing things in the sky that you've never seen before, you don't understand. There's so much more in this vast galaxy that none of you understand. However, you've made certain things fearful because you don't understand them. And we gave you a message, and you can find it. It says, the more you know, the less you understand. You see, because that's that place of not wanting to explore and going into the unknown. Now, our being is a little different. His makeup, he has to explore everything. That's just part of his nature. Some of you might be of that ilk as well. However, just understand that there's so much more, and you have an awareness, and we're so glad that you said that, which means that you're going to bring a normalcy to all the other stuff that many of you will start to see very soon. Thank you.
Dear Wilhelm, thank you so much. Is it possible for me to channel in my own language in public?
Yes, absolutely. Because, okay, we're going to go back to you, and we're so glad you said that, because you've been guided. The universe said, yes, please do this. It needs to bring greater awareness to different places and doing it. And we feel your apprehension and your fear about doing that, or the judgment that you might receive. And this is what went on with our being too, because there was no way that he would be sitting here doing this but we just pressured him. That's how it felt. He remembers it. In 2021, we sat him on his bed and we said, you got to start talking. We have too much to give. We have so much work, and we want people to understand. You've got to start talking. He said, no, I can't do it. And now he loves it. And so we have to just kind of, tone him down a little bit, because we sent so much information. But you have been given something so wonderful, and you're going to trust it and just start practicing. That's all. And you will do it. But we want to say it's important that you do it as well, because you're bringing in a new awareness in different places that hasn't existed. And that's why it feels a little uncomfortable, but that's what's needed. This is a complete global restructuring. So yes, please do that. Thank you.
I often don't receive abundance directly, but I've been offered help by getting rid of everything that I have in storage and throwing them away. But I don't want to get rid of everything. But I often wonder if emptying the things that I have in storage and letting them go will let me connect to a greater abundance and flow.
Oh, the energy, okay, there's so much in there, and we're so glad that you brought that up. Now, there are many of you who are holding on to things that you don't need. And why are you doing that? Because you're holding on to a past, and it has no value. And there is, and especially during this time, this will be a great time for many of you to do a little bit of house cleaning and get rid of things because your old self is leaving. And so if you're holding on to things that you think, I don't want this, I'm not going to ever use it again, why are you doing that? Because you're attempting to stay in an old idea of who you were instead of taking the new one. So when you clear out a space, you are saying to the universe, I am open for more. Please give me the better things. Give me so much more. But sometimes you will hold on to things, and you do this in many different ways, in your relationships, in your jobs, your careers, whatever it is, you hold on to it because it's familiar to you and it feels like this safety. And it's a false safety because the safety is within you, of who you are. And so you will have to figure out which you are doing. Are you holding on to it because you think it's fun? Maybe it'll be, that stuff will turn into something or be valuable. Are you holding on to it because it's giving you some sort of security that's not really helping you and probably costing you money that you don't need to pay? We're just throwing things out for you to decide which you are doing. Because when you come to that and you ask the question because you want some clarity on that, and what we felt is that you're kind of not willing to let go of something, and you'll figure out the reason for that. But we will say that anything that you, the kind of attachments, we've given you many messages on attachments. When you let go of the attachments to physical things, you open up for a greater abundance, typically. Thank you.
How do we support our male friends and family to also move into discovering their intuitive side as well? It seems that men are being left behind.
This is what's happening in the world now. This is the change that is happening. This is why we said that the feminine energy, and typically it's more in women, but men have it as well, and it has to be integrated. You each are integrating those energies. This restructuring is about integrating the feminine, masculine energies that you all possess. And so, but men have been more dominant over the eons in your world, and that's the balance that needs to change a bit. And so the way that you're going to help them is just by loving them and being proud of who you are. When you bring your proud feminine energy into the world and into the presence of men, they'll get it. That's all. You're not going to change them or get them to do anything, but you can, again, as we said earlier, you can be the example of what it's like to be a wonderful human being. That's all. And they will start to see that. Thank you.
Will the new data associated between actions and events that I have just found and am preparing to present be the final straw to triggering change in my country?
No. There is no final. You're always in process, you see. It's just the next step. And that's what we want you to understand. There's an energy that happens with many of you where you're trying to get to some completion. You are never complete. There's just more. It's within you and it's within your world. This is why we said your world is going to go through big changes. And because so many of you are not willing to change, it's going to take a little bit of time. That's all. And so there is no completion. But the next thing that you're supposed to do will help that evolution to occur. You're going to start the circle moving a bit more. So just do that. But it feels like you think that this one thing or this one action or these. No, all of it. It's going to be a combination. It's going to be a confluence of all of those things that will then initiate the change. When we had our being say that we knows that this work will change the world, he's not knowing that he's going to see it tomorrow. He doesn't know. He knows he's not going to see it even while he's still in his physical form. But he does know that it will show up eventually. And that's what you're doing as well. So just go with that and don't put unrealistic expectations that you can't really fulfill. Just do the thing that's in front of you, and that's what you're doing now, and you'll see it'll have great results, and you'll build upon that. So, but we just don't want you to think that it's all going to be done, and that never occurs in human experience. Thank you.
I have a vision for creating peace through the collective holding the vision of it. If I start the projects for the PPN, could it create an income for me and help create peace on the planet?
Yes, absolutely. All of that is true. You're just going to figure out the way that you're going to do it. And we love what you're doing because that is so powerful. That is so incredibly powerful. But now you're going to figure out a way that you can do it where you can monetize it to a degree and so that you can support what you're doing. But give them the value. If you give people the understanding of why they would be doing this and the difference that it's going to make not only in their lives, but on your planet, it's going to succeed. And you'll figure out ways where it can turn into income and do it for what feels comfortable for you now. But yes, it can absolutely do that. And it will be the greatest contribution that you will make. And it will be the legacy that we said, that will be your legacy, but we said all of you will leave one when you understand and own your purpose and live that in this incarnation. Thank you.
Will we be able to create the new and successful parallel system we are envisioning?
Well, let's see how we could possibly answer that question. You see, because we've been speaking about it for so many years, but none of you could hear us. And we said, wait a minute, yes, you can if you decide to do it. And doing it is just about owning who you are and loving yourself. And so the more of you who do that, then you start to see the shift. And again, you cannot expect everyone to think like you, to be like you, to believe. None of that's going to happen. You have to decide to own what particular path you were given because it's connected to the divine. You all are. And so when you start doing that a little bit more, then the others will understand it as well. And then more will do it. And that's how you create this spiral of evolution of consciousness, which is exactly what this restructuring in your world is about now. Thank you.
Hi, and thank you so much. I've been trying to learn how to succeed in my own business, focusing on making money. I feel I'm not good at business. I've started to wonder if it's still necessary. Are they teaching business the same way as before? Will the money system undergo a huge change? I also believe that in the future, we will develop a different way that is not based on personal profit.
Yes, all of those things are correct. And the financial system is changing. And we've said that, and this is why we said everything that we might say today, we've said, but you come to understand it in a different way. This is why you've seen all the changes happening in your financial institutions. And we also told you, which was so fascinating to see today, because we said that you're not going to have a recession. You're not going to have that going on. Everybody was all fearful. And that's because you have to understand where you're placing your energy. And so, yes, that's going to change because there needs to be a rebalancing of income. And this is why we keep telling. And when you listen to the other sessions that we just had are being posted, you will hear every one. We said, you've got to change the rate. You've got to change the rates because you have to have a shift in the economic, outlook in your world because too many people are not having enough. But still, some of you hold back because you have generational beliefs and limitation and lack. And this is what you're moving over now. And our being had that too for not in the same way that many of you. His was about self-acceptance. See, because he couldn't accept that we had given him all of this information and it had worked. that was the problem for him. But for you, that all of these things are going to change, but you are the ones who will make the changes when you decide to own yourself and allow abundance to come to you and then use it in a way that is sustainable, that you know it's going to do good for more than just you. It's good for all that is. And we've said that that is the period that you're moving through. This is why you're going into the age of Aquarius, where there's more cooperation, more collaboration. And that's what you're all doing now. So, but you're on to something that we truly love. And so, because you have an awareness that's coming through and just give it time to really develop. So thank you for bringing that.
Is loving yourself enough as an example for your children, or can we do more?
Okay. Wow, there's so much in there. Loving yourself is always enough, but you don't always do it, you see, because it's always a continual process. Because loving yourself means that you're taking next steps in understanding your evolutionary path and who you're meant to become, because it's always more. And that's ascension again. And then you're giving that example to your children. And then you'll come to understand that your wonderful children also have their own individual paths, you see. And so you're not controlling them, you're being the example for them and allowing them to develop. And this is why we're giving you this work, because the more of you who start with your children, you have a very different world where you're not doing the wars and all the stuff that you're doing right now. That's what goes on. So yes, loving yourself is more than enough. This strange concept that we would like from some of you to just get a little bit. You are you bring your children into the world, but they have their own souls as well. And so what you can do is demonstrate to them the process of moving through your life and continually loving yourself, where you get to a higher state of understanding and consciousness, and that is ascension, you see. And so then they will say, oh, that's how you go about it. And their soul and their individual path will get the example from you. So yeah, that's going to be great. Thank you.
I am facing challenges due to the impacts of some of my past behaviors on my children. As I assist them through their life journey, being a solo parent presents many challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Can I trust that other humans can be welcomed into our lives to assist me in raising these beautiful souls?
First of all, you have to do some other stuff here. You have to forgive yourself. You have so much guilt and regret because you did all these horrible things to your kids. That didn't happen. You were learning something, and they agreed to be there with you to help you learn it. We just want you to shift your entire perspective. And then you're going to have open conversations. And if you felt like you did something that wasn't serving them, then talk to them about it or apologize if you think you need to do that. But first and most important thing is that we want you to change your perception of this. And you have to start with forgiving yourself, because whatever you thought you did wrong, that was a learning process. You couldn't have known how to do anything. When you come into human form, then if you know exactly how to do things, you learn from others and you start to develop that. So start first with forgiving yourself. And if you want to bring in other people, that's great. But we feel like you could do this yourself if you start becoming honest with yourself and with them and form this bond, form this communication of growth and talk about the things that you didn't do well. You say, and say, we're going to do better. And now I'm giving you a new example of how you can achieve things in your life through the mistakes that I've made. That's what you all do, by the way. Thank you.
And we have reached the final question. Thank you for your service. Going through my divorce right now, and I would like to know if my children are going to be okay with the changes in our family, and if in the end, will I get full custody of my children?
We can't get into that. That's going to be for the highest good of all. And so all we want you to, we don't know how it's going to turn out, but what we want you to do is to just keep in your head, in your consciousness, in your thoughts every single day, that what we are doing is going to turn out to be for the highest good of all. And so then you have that in your awareness, and then you go about creating that. And you create that with honest communication and open communication and love, loving all of it. And that's what you're doing. When you come into human form, you are going to have all kinds of relationships, interactions, marriages, all kinds of things. And sometimes they don't last forever. They don't serve, because your evolutionary path is saying we're going in a new direction right now. But you have to let go of the guilt. Because, see, you made certain choices in your marriages, your relationships, your careers, whatever they were, because you weren't fully aware of everything about you. And so just make it the best for all of you. None of you came together accidentally. Your spouse, your kids, you all agreed on a soul level to have this experience on this earth at this time to come to greater awareness within each of you. That is what is for the highest good of all. Thank you.
And we are complete in questions.
Thank you so much. We wanted to give you this today because it's an incredibly powerful day, and you're going to see more things happening in your world, especially in the United States, that could cause you a little distress. But we want to say that, no, it's about you waking up to who you are. That's why you are allowing yourself to see the chaos. and then you change it energetically by putting in this incredible effort. That's what it takes at times to loving who you are. And that's each of you. You each come to the world with something to offer, and it has to be developed. That's all that it is. And when we gave you our work, that's the premise. We're saying every single soul comes onto the physical plane with a life path that is a benefit to the planet. You just have to figure it out, and you just have to let go of the old stuff. And then you come to love yourself, and that's the biggest change that your world could possibly want, and it will be the biggest change in your life. And we love you all so much, and please continue to become who you are meant to become in this world. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And this has been awesome. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, we're going to offer something new, which is a service for you where Roger texts out exclusive personal development and ascension tools in bite-sized daily downloads from Wilhelm, channeled through Roger's cosmic compass in your pocket. This is $4.99 per month only, and the link to access this service will be in the YouTube description, where you can sign up to this service. So you will have Roger and the messages from Wilhelm right in your pocket, supporting your ascension in day-to-day life. Check out the description below. Thank you for being here. Shine your light, love yourself, and live in forgiveness, right? This is what I can say, live in forgiveness 24/7. We've heard this from many preachers. We love you so much. See you soon. Bye-bye.